What up? What up? This your boy DJ Cree. I'm back. Y'all know what it is, man. Been making some moves behind the scenes, but I'm gonna start doing these videos once again at 10 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. So y'all be looking for my news updates, my music updates, and all that. Um, the first thing I wanted to talk about is Joe Budden. Whew. Rory and Mal, man. And I'm gonna say this straight up. I'm a big fan of the show. Love the Joe Budden podcast. And I'm gonna be honest. Joe Budden is the main reason why I love the Joe Budden podcast. And, over the years, he's done things in questionable manners, but understand this, he is a creative 100%, and he creates, and he's a CEO, he's a person who develops content for different platforms. So you have to respect that. But over the years, I guess there was tension brewing around money and business. And that happens when you start something from the ground up and you have people come in their early stage and they're not getting paid first. Things aren't going the way you want to. Then all of a sudden, things blow up. And there's always going to be some kind of tension when you start something from zero. People come along and you add people to the team. Of course, they're not being paid at that time. And then, money comes in. Then, it's a crazy, crazy situation, But first and foremost, man, hopefully Rory and Mal find something else to do, and find another platform and place where they can go do their thing. No love lost, but I'm just gonna be honest. I hate to see it go down, man, and I say this off the rip before I even really get into the article or whatever. Um, the only real thing I disagree with Joe on is the way he handled it. You don't fire somebody, especially you known them that long. You don't fire somebody uh, on camera on a podcast. You wildin', bro. Keep that shit behind closed doors. You had Rory a part of your thing because you consider him a friend and a value to what you were doing. Even if things don't work out, you still have to consider that he did help, in the content area. So at least respect them by not doing shit like you're fired. Like I don't have the audio because I'm not playing video and stuff right now. But I soon will be starting back playing video in between, my commentary. But wow, wow, wow. You don't fire nobody live. You don't fire nobody live. You could have handled that any kind of way. And I'm in my other point, the where I really disagree with Joe Budden. Again, but this is before I read the article. I really disagree with the monetary things, the auditing and management things that he's saying, because if you're doing business, you should allow your employees to audit you. If you're doing any kind of business, and Joe knows this from music. I'm in the music game. He knows this from music. At any time in your contract, you should be able to audit, or at least once a year, you should be able to audit the people you're getting money from to check those books. The book's always supposed to be checked, just in case there is a discrepancy in money or anything else, benefits, anything that may conflict either with your contract or something that you may have not negotiated yet that what you want to put into the contract. So audits are very important in any business. So Joe, I don't fuck with you on that. I don't give a fuck what it is. In my business, if my guys want to come audit me and come look through my books, they can. They're allowed to. So that's where I disagree with Joe at. Those boys deserve to know what's going on with the business. Maybe they don't have nothing to do with the actual final decision, but definitely if you consider them as co-host, you definitely should be cluing them in with certain business moves that the company is doing, because you never know. You might do something that they might not be comfortable with, that they may be contractually obligated to do, or maybe they're not contractually obligated to do. So yes, the business needs to be transparent, just like Joe wanted Spotify to be transparent with him. You should be transparent with Rory and Mal. Period. Point blank. Everything else I agree with Joe Budden on. Everything. The way he does business, that's just the way he learns and he evolves his business through learning. And it's real time, which is so dope. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to allow your teammates to also grow and evolve. But they can't grow and evolve if they're not getting the correct audits and things like that, and let them lawyer up. If they're gonna lose, let them lose. That's a valuable lesson. That's a lesson they had to learn, and I'm sure that's a lesson Joe had to learn. So let them learn their lesson, But I will say this, where I disagree with Rory and Mal is Joe Budden is his own man, and he's in a business. And, DJ Academics does go hard on Rory and Mal. But Rory and Mal should not treat it as Joe is not their friend. They should treat it as Joe is a business partner. But anything he does with Academics, eat it. Eat it. Because it's going to only make the brand of the business grow anyway. Just start firing back at Academics, man. That's like when you on the bus and you getting joned every day and you ain't saying nothing back. You getting joned every day and you look over to your guy who laughing. You can't get mad at that nigga for laughing if it's funny. So and everybody know in school, if you don't jone back, if you don't talk back, you're gonna get talked about. And that's the bottom line with that. So I think Rory and Mal, and Academics ain't no gangster or nothing like that. So I think Rory and Mal is just, they overreacting just a little bit too much. If Academics was on some gangster shit, sending goons to the house, doing all kind of crazy shit, then yeah, I could see, Rory feeling away. And Mal feeling the way, but sometimes you just gotta let that go. Joe has been through the beefs and all that stuff. He's trying to get business done. The only thing I would tell Joe to do with the Academics or anybody else talking about the team is like, chill. You do have to say something. Joe be laughing when Academics be wilding on them, but you do have to say something. You be like, look, yo, I don't know what y'all got going on, but bruh, we doing business. I don't want to hear none of that. And that's how Joe definitely, I think, needs to treat it. But other than that, Rory and Ma, y'all tripping on that Academics thing. If that's the main thing that's causing beef between y'all, bro, y'all need to dead that, man. Get to the money. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. The show don't stop for nobody. And that's anything, any business, anything. The show don't stop for nobody. So either you figure out the ways you're going to be comfortable or leave, and Joe has every right to fire and hire new people as he sees fit. But at the same time, you know, you're in the business. You know the business model. You know what type of person Joe is. You know, and that's my main takeaway. I'm gonna try to. I've been talking a little too long. You know what I'm saying? I want to get to some of this, but but that's the way I feel about it. All right, this is coming from Hip Hop DX, man. It says Joe Budden has dominated the headlines with his Joe Budden podcast drama after firing co-host Rory on Wednesday, and Mal is nowhere to be found. With rumors circulating, Budden cleared the air with a 30-minute dialogue. He says, I'm not skirting around my career successes because these two gentlemen may see it another way. I can't continue. That can't continue to happen. The way that I go about conducting my business cannot be affected by people that cannot affect it. That's what's been going on since the second year of the Spotify deal. And it says, friend or not, this is on his Twitter. Friend or not, I'm never funding someone's sabotage of me. That will never happen. I get far away from the threat. You can think peace until your face turns blue. Then he says, there's a lot of nasty accusation of thievery and questioning about shit from niggas who can't question me and about shit. And I can't say that because we're friends. If you don't seal it up, it can come back to bite you again. These niggas been beefing about accounting for 3 years. Nothing you say matters in the accounting. Again, this is where I disagree. You gotta let people see your accounting. There's nothing wrong with paying somebody what they deserved at that time. Going back, looking at the books, and if it's money owed, you gotta pay them. This is where I disagree. I agree with everything else, Joe Budden, but you being in business, as it grows, you're gonna make decisions and financial decisions that may not be the best for the future. It might be best for that moment, but it may not be best for the future. Say if you get 100 racks, all right, you pay everybody, then y'all take a big vacation to some big far off land and you spend a lot of money. Now, instead of taking that vacation, 10 years later, you think back on it, damn, instead of taking that vacation, y'all probably should have invested it in hiring more people or giving people a raise or things like that. And if there's money due to the people later on that we're supposed, instead of that trip happening, we're supposed to have been to them, you owe them. And if I don't know how they're gonna prove that in court. It's a hard thing to prove in court. But I think Joe's a little hard-headed on that. Stop worrying about the money. I think salvage the business relationship, not the relationship. Salvage the business relationship, because you want to be able to partner up with different people in different companies. You don't want to keep running into the same pitfall that you're running into by doing the things that you're doing. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. He said, I believe at the time of the implosion, these gentlemen didn't have no idea what was in their contract. He said, I believe they didn't read it. I think they negotiated it, but I do think they were all the way aware of what the contract said. No. Do I think in their accounting mission, did they find out what their contract said? Yes. Budden feels that even though he's friends with Rory and Mal, the podcast and network is his multi-million-dollar venture, and must be protected as such. He believes his former co-hosts don't have the right to the financial details and bookkeeping. That's not true. Not true. That's not true. Not true. I hate to disappoint you, Joe Budden, but and you know this. You rap, bro. You can audit a company for money. If you're working and you got the money, you working $10 an hour, and you feel like you're missing some money, you can't audit them. You can take them to court and audit them. Any company, not just Joe Budden's. And if you're, especially if you're a public traded, they're not publicly traded yet, but a publicly traded company, you could go in there and get the records, but you have to get a court order. You got to go through the courts and stuff to get those records. So I disagree. And that's gonna be a lesson Joe Budden probably gonna have to learn. Okay, he said, I got too much going on for these brothers to tell me how things are supposed to run and all the accounting, and the people was private or fraudulent. Budden said, bitch, where did the check come from that you cashed? He went on, I think the Spotify deal was worth a lot more than whatever I reported. They might think I'm pulling somewhere else, some funny deal somewhere else. Okay, and Rory says, man, what an error. Thank you to everybody that listened, supported, told their friends about us, bought a subscription, ticket, merch, any value, and ends with y'all. I'll get to that messy shit soon, but in the meantime, I'm here to celebrate an amazing run. Love. Regardless, Joe Budden is still open to conversation with Rory and Mal. He said Mal hasn't returned with his numerous phone calls and texts, and he hopes to speak with them without Rory being present as well. For now, the show goes on without the Joe Budden staples. And like I said, man, it's sad that things happen the way they happen. But, it is what it is. But I think Joe Budden will learn a lesson. Bro, you have to keep really good books. You do. You do. And you have to be upfront and open like you wanted Spotify to be and all these other companies to be, like you wanted Complex to be. You have to take that in consideration. You can't get that emotional and upset because somebody wants to get a lawyer and all that stuff. Hey, they might be owed money. They might owe you money. But get to the bottom of it. That's my take. Man, I'm DJ Cree. I'm out. Make sure y'all subscribe. Exclusive Heat series